Hello and welcome to the Now Educated podcast. Thank you for taking the time to sit, listen, and hopefully share with as many people as you can. Now, we've been talking a lot about how do you get yourself to be financially unshakable or build your financial health. And we're in a season now where we're seeing the effects of inflation, we're seeing the effects of slowdown in growth affecting people's incomes. And if you're in Zimbabwe, you've probably been keeping up to date with some news that could have been disturbing and discouraging to a degree. But what I want to turn our attention to is timeless truths, or things that we can hold on to that can help you in any and every season to win in life, and particularly to get your money right so that you can live the life that you are called to live. Now, a principle that I live by, and I believe that all of us should begin to consider living by, is the principle that states that exchange is the process of life. Life is lived as an exchange. At any point in time, you are exchanging your time for something, you're exchanging your talent for something, you're exchanging your money for something. And the more intentional you go about doing this, the better. You see, the more we give, the more we potentially get to get. And if we are intentional in our giving, we can determine the kind of stuff we get back. Now, I was reading this remarkable book. It's a book of truth, Blueprint for Existence. And it speaks to the power of trading with each other in getting you a return over time. And it also shares another truth, which is we must invest in 8 ventures or ways or give to 7 or 8 things, because we know not where the money or the return is going to come from, or you don't know which direction a disaster may come from that may end up, so if it's streams of income. If you build 7 or 8 streams of income, you are adequately equipped that when something happens in an economy that affects one of your streams of income, the other streams can come to the rescue. Or you won't feel the entire wrath of the bad season. So what is that telling us? It's affirming an ancient truth that the more things change, the more we must rely on those things that never change. And one thing that never changes is that humans, by our nature, will always be trading with one another. And if you want to improve your financial fortunes, you are best served at finding out how you can serve others and being intentional in that process. You know, the world we live in now is got so much coming at us. There's policies we don't understand. There's technology moving at a fast pace. There's talk of AI and all these things. And the temptation for some of us is to believe that all this is making the world smaller, or making the opportunity smaller and smaller for us. That, hey, my job is going to get replaced by a machine. I'm going to get fired because they find now my job can be done by 2-3 clicks of a button. So we fear, because we believe that there's scarcity, that this is taking away from us instead of adding to us. And what does that do to us? For some of us, we stop even trying to become better. We just start to come up with excuses on why the world is unfair, why you can't stay in this particular country. Oh, there's so many problems. But may I submit that problems are actually opportunities. You see, in the season you find yourself in, the question you must be asking yourself is, in the current economy, what skills are required? What skills are needed? And how can you start doing or upskilling yourself, or adding value to yourself, learning those skills that are needed in the current market, and then offering those skills to the people that need those skills in the market. Because when you do that, when you improve yourself and make yourself valuable to others, you create a scenario where someone will employ you. And if they don't, like many will probably say when they watch this, that there are no jobs, hey, build yourself enough, you'll create your own job. You'll employ yourself. Oh, and when you employ yourself, that's the good times. Because when you employ yourself, your raise, your income increase, your earnings increase, becomes effective when you become effective. You see, the limitation to our earnings and our income, and I stress this, in a season where inflation is rising, in a season where unemployment is high, and the cost of living is going up literally in almost every country. Even the US dollar that many of us Zimbabweans believe is unshakable, oh, it's going through turbulence. It's going through inflation like it's never seen before. It almost feels like they're on their way to the Great Depression inflation levels. There's even talk that the US dollar will be replaced by a different currency. As other nations get tired of relying on the US dollar, and there could be a new currency, and they may lose their position as the reserve currency or the currency of international trade. So stuff is happening around the world. So before you start taking comfort in saying, hey, I am poor because I've got a bad boss. I live in a bad country with a bad government. There are no opportunities. There are no jobs. Have you seen the inflation statistics? Man, we've got over 88% unemployment. Forget those excuses. That's what they are. They're excuses. They're facts. But the truth is they're excuses. Because you knowing those facts is an increase in the amount of money in your pocket. So what must we do to change? You see, the truth of it is your income, your net worth today is really a function of three things. Three things. And those three things are your willingness to focus on the things that matter. I remember a time where I used to love to watch football. And it got to a point where I started knowing footballers' birthdays, the cars they drive, their children's names, and their children's birthdays. But I didn't even know my own kids' birthdays. I didn't even know some of my relatives' important days. I didn't know things that were important to build in my job. And I realized that I had started to focus on the things that didn't matter and devote time to things that didn't give me a return that mattered in my life. So I stopped. I dropped that habit. Loved the game, hated the returns. And that's what's important, right? When you invest, it's the income. It's the return on life that matters. So your willingness to focus on the things that matter. The more we focus on the things that matter, and number one is looking at yourself as a business professional, appreciating that there's no one responsible for your breakthrough. You are. You have to do the things necessary. You have to take the time to educate yourself. You, not anyone else. So focus on how you can become a better version of yourself. The second thing is our ability to unleash our creativity. Our ability to unleash our creativity. I know each and every one of us have something special we bring to the room. For many of us, we go through life and never find out what that is. Maybe we bump into it from time to time, and we call those moments of brilliance. I believe some of these things that we call moments of brilliance, if you took the time to discover your strengths, because this is truly what people who are successful have done, is they have taken time to discover their strengths, and then they focus themselves on living in their strength zone. They work around their weaknesses, but they focus on what they're strong in. And when they focus on what they're strong in, they allow the creativity within them to make itself manifest. Unlock it, unleash it, and you'll be amazed at how many people will notice that you are doing something remarkable that they need in the organization, that they need in the community, that they need in the nation. Third, our willingness to contribute. You see, we are not paid based on how hard we work. Sorry, calling yourself a hard worker or going back and playing back how many hours you work, that doesn't really matter. What matters most is the value you add. What are you contributing to the places you find yourself at? What do people know you for? What do you bring to the table? How do you make their lives a lot better? It's not about you, it's up to you. I love what my pastors always say. You have the responsibility to help someone else become better. And if you focus on adding value, contributing to as many people as you can, I am telling you, it will not matter what kind of economy you find yourself in, what kind of season you find yourself in. If you focus on these three things, because that's what's determining your earning potential today, your earning power today, your balance sheet today, your network today, is three things: your focus, your creativity, and your willingness to contribute. So take some time. So let's share some practical ways you can go about it. If you're earning no income today, focus. What do people need then? And sometimes that's going to mean you're going to take some time practicing doing stuff for some people for free, so you can build relationships. Secondly, if you've taken some time to do this already, ask yourself, how far have I gone with these relationships? Are some of these relationships at a stage where I can actually ask them to pay me for what I do for them? And if some of them aren't there yet, maybe you can ask those relationships to refer you to people they know, whom you can serve, and those people would be willing to pay. And get this, the moment someone starts paying you, that means you're delivering value. That's not the end. Keep delivering value. Keep serving. Keep upping your game. Never stop learning. Don't go with the notion that if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's not broken, keep making it better. That's what innovation is about. Adding a little bit more, making it a little bit nicer. Don't break it, make it better. And the more you do that, the more reliable you get. The more people remember you when they think about someone who can do a job for them. And that's how your wealth is built. It's in the relationships. Forget the CV. Okay, maybe don't forget the CV, but it's not about the CV. Be focused on building relationships. And like one of the guidelines we shared last week, funds can come from friends. Go and make friends. My name is Terence, and I think that's enough for today. I hope you're now educated. Thank you so much for watching this and all the clips that we've been putting out there. We love the comments, we love the reactions, and we want to encourage you to do even more. Kindly go out, share this with your friends, share this with someone at work, share it with anyone you know will benefit from this. And most importantly, tell us what you want us to share with you in terms of stuff you want us to talk about or questions you'd like us to answer for you. Remember, the aim of this podcast is to help as many of us build better relationships with money. And we can only do that if we get this to as many people as possible. If you're as honest and as transparent as you can be, so that we answer the stuff that will move your world and help our world become a better place. Remember, our community is all about getting to know better. And when you know better, we do better. But we want to go an extra step. We want to know better, help others know better. Because collectively, when we know better, we tend to do better. And like we always close, the world will get better. So thank you so much for watching this. And we hope that we can get more and more people to watch this, and we can build a community that ends up winners when it comes to this area of finances.